So, are you thinking about moving to Central Alberta? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the pros and the cons about moving to one of our smaller town communities called Lacombe. So stick around with me and let's dive into it. My name is Shalane Walls, along with my partner Jason Walls with eXp Realty. We are here to help people just like you every single day make your move easy. Whether you're thinking about moving in 9 days, 90 days, or 1 year from now, it doesn't matter to us. Now, if you're new to our channel, you should like and subscribe because we cover a whole variety of content that is going to make your move easier and seamless. And as you'll find that we always say, we do the research so you don't have to. So let's get started. Some of the pros about Lacombe, Alberta is the size of it. It is about 14,000 people, give or take. So it's a little bit bigger than some of those smaller towns we've talked about and those hamlets and those lake areas that I've talked about in my videos, and definitely smaller than some of the other communities such as Red Deer, Ponoka, Sylvan Lake, communities like that. And if you're wondering about those communities, remember I did say we have a whole variety of videos on those towns in here. So whether you're thinking big town, small city, hamlet, or lake style community, there's a video in there that talks about all of that for you. Lacombe is famous for its historic charm. The minute you drive into that city, you're going to see the beautiful architecture from the heritage homes. Now, if you're not sure what a heritage home is, it's a home typically registered that is 100 years or older, and they've been restored. So this beautiful main street of all of these heritage homes are there. Now, maybe a heritage home isn't for you, but you still want to live on this street and take in all of its beauty. That's fine. You can do what we call as an infill. And I have talked about infills in some of our videos too. So you can knock down this older house if you feel like it's too much work and too much money for you to put in to bring your dreams to reality and showcase your vision. That's okay. You could infill it, build your beautiful home right next to the heritage charm. And you can walk right down the street and take in the beautiful buildings and architecture that have been so divinely cared for, so people just like you can enjoy it. Lacombe has this beautiful historic feel that you just can't get away from its pubs to its eateries to its bakeries to the people. Even some of the people that live in Lacombe were born and raised there. Maybe not in the town itself, but that brings me to my next point. The farmland. The farmland is pristine in this area. So if you're thinking about moving and having a farm or an acreage because you want to grow things or have animals, this farmland will not let you down. You can just take a look, Google it, please, and you will see how many beautiful farms there are and what it's producing, how much it's producing before you make your decision. Now we have large operations, cattle farms, grain farms, even smaller things like microgreens and seed containers that are producing and supplying for our restaurants within the community. And that brings me to another point. Why? Because Lacombe's proximity to the major centers, you can't get much better than that. It is located only about 25 kilometers to Red Deer, which is a major city. So we have just over 109,000 people in Red Deer. So if you want that small town historic feel, but you don't want the hustle and bustle of the city, well then you can just drive 20-25 minutes on Highway 2 or two-way, and you can take a little bit slower pace. But you can hit up Black Falls before you get to Red Deer as well. So there's a multitude of places where you can find shopping and services. The vibrant community. Now what I mean by that is that it is such a tight-knit community. There's so many organizations and events and festivals that are going on all year round. Yes, even in the dreaded winter here in Central Alberta. So one of our favorite things to do and talk about is in the wintertime, they have this beautiful skating rink put in Central Park it's all lit up. There's skating, there's always events and music, there's hot chocolate, and it's just a really fun place for the family to go. And even those teenagers that, sometimes we have to pry out of their bedroom. So the sense of community and the sense of family in Lacombe is just top notch. And you know why what I equate that to? Because of the smaller population of people. When you live in Lacombe, you pretty much get to know everybody that lives there. Lacombe is also known now for its beautiful sports and leisure complex. I don't know if you guys have heard of Gord Bamford, the country singer, but he lives right around there. And so you might even see him there at that multiplex. He puts on one of the greatest charity golf classics every single year. And again, Google it, check it out. Check out Gord Bamford. He's one of my favorites. But what a really cool place to live where you have somebody so iconic right in your back door. I know I love being close to living in Gord Bamford. Now I talked about the architectural. Not only are the businesses and the buildings and the homes beautiful and stunning, but it also stunning galleries and art facilities, and the local artists have their artwork plastered in the buildings and the businesses around the town. And there's so many multicultural festivals, and I encourage you to check online and go to the town of Lacombe and see exactly what is being offered every single month. You won't be sorry, and you're definitely not going to run out of things to do. So this also gives that fun, family-friendly feel where you don't have to be afraid to let your kids go out to play or go to that skating rink or go on those trails or go golfing. Everybody looks out for everyone. Well, at least that's how it seems to me. And a mom of 5 kids, I don't know about you, but me, I sure like to make sure my kids are safe. And I love when I pop out the door and I'm going to go to that grocery store and I run into people I know and I can catch up without having to do it on the old internet and Facebook. The face-to-face interaction really has something to be said for itself. Affordable living. Now let's face it. We all know once you step out of the city, even if 10, 15 kilometers, the cost of living goes down as far as housing. So for your dollar to dollar value, you're going to get much more square footage for the same amount of money as you would in some of our other cities. So if you want a bigger yard and you want a bigger house and you have a specific budget and you're not finding that in our major city centers, then I really encourage you to step out and check out some of these beautiful communities. And I know Lacombe won't let you down. The schools are fantastic. The education system is fantastic. The university is fantastic. I mean, you can just talk to any of the parents in these towns and they will tell you how much they love the schools and how much the kids love their teachers and how much the teachers love the kids. Most of these teachers have taught the kids right from pre-K, which is pre-kindergarten, all the way up to graduation. That has something to be said. Now, I also could encourage you to go on the Everyone Asks page on Facebook for Lacombe, because this would allow you to enter your questions and talk to the people that actually live there and ask them what they think about it. And you can point out these key points that I've mentioned and take it right from the horse's mouth, as they say. Economic growth. Lacombe is steadily growing. Now, if you take a drive in there, you're going to see what's happening. There's new housing going up. There's new businesses going up. So that in itself is going to create many jobs as far as in the trades, as far as the service industry. Maybe you're thinking of bringing your business to Central Alberta. You might want to think about Lacombe, because as the population grows, we're definitely going to need more services for the people that live there. Now, I've talked about the greatness of Lacombe, and I hate to highlight on any type of con, but you know what? That's my job, because like I said, I do the research so you don't have to. So let's just talk about a few of the things that I'd like to point out about moving to Lacombe other than a bigger major center. So you definitely have limited shopping. So if you're a shopper and you have that big family and you need to go to Costco all the time, or you need the brand name clothes, you're always going to be driving. But like I said, Lacombe is only about 25 kilometers from Red Deer. So it's a quick zip into the city and a zip back, but you do have to drive there, and sometimes the weather does get really bad here in Central Alberta. So if you're thinking about Costco, or you're thinking you need to go to the Nike store, or you think you need to go to American Eagle, or these big box change stores, then definitely this would be something to consider. But if you don't mind a quick drive, pop the kids into school and head on into Costco for a coffee and that $1.50 hot dog, well, don't worry about it. But I just wanted to point it out. Then another thing that Lacombe doesn't have is public transport. So if you have teenagers or maybe you don't drive, you're not going to be able to take the bus anywhere. You can definitely take a taxi, but you're not going to be able to take city transit. So if that's a concern or that is a need that you have to have in a place where you live, then definitely Lacombe is not going to be the place for you. Again, not a huge thing, but I just want to point it out so you don't have any surprises when you move to one of our smaller centers. Now, in every video when I talk about pros and cons, I talk about the weather. The weather here in Alberta is fantastic, but we do get winter, and we do get winter for about 6-7 months, and it does get dreadfully cold for some of that time. Not for weeks and months, but we do have cold snaps, cold days, cold week, where it can dip down into that -30, and with that wind, the -40. Not that it's going to keep you inside or to scare you, because we all still head out there. People are still doing their winter activities. But I just want you to let you know that if you move to Central Alberta and you move to Lacombe, you're definitely going to need a shovel, definitely going to need a toque, and you're definitely going to need a winter jacket and those winter boots, and you're probably going to have to plug your car in quite a few days. So another, not a con, just a little bit of information, because I don't want you moving here with your spring jacket and your shorts and the snow hits at Halloween and you're thinking, why did nobody tell me about the weather? Healthcare access. Now, Lacombe does have a hospital, which is great, because if you need something quick, an x-ray or your stitches or something like that other than a major surgery, Lacombe is great. You're not going to have the wait times that major centers have, but if you do need specialty services in the medical field, you need like different healthcare professionals, you are going to have to go to the city. You are going to have to go to the bigger centers. So that is one thing to keep in mind. And if you don't like driving, and you're going to have to be driving to Red Deer or to Calgary or to Edmonton, then you might want to think about that. But as far as your day-to-day needs and minor accidents and injuries, home can take care of you. But for the major things, specialist appointments, you are going to have to do some driving. But as we've mentioned in our videos, even though this is a con, Red Deer is 25 kilometers. You can get to Calgary in an hour. You can get to Edmonton in an hour. So it's not that far, but it definitely could be an inconvenience if that's something you don't want to do. Small town limitations as far as entertainment. So you're not going to have as much variety in entertainment as you would in some of the bigger cities. Say, like, you're not going to have laser tag. You're not going to have the wave pool. You might not have as much trails. You might not have some of those specialty sports that are going on, like pickleball. You're not going to have as big of sportive teams as you're going to have in the city. But as far as leisure goes, you're definitely going to find something you're going to want to do. As fine as going out for dinner, you'll find something to do. But you're not going to have as big a variety. So when I talk about the con on entertainment, that's what I want to stress. It's just not a variety like a city would have. I think you get what I mean, right? Another thing that I'd like to talk about is oftentimes the pace of life is slower in small towns. So if you're somebody that has a get up and go and needs high energy and lots of things to do, places to go, people see, Lacombe is probably not for you. It definitely has a little bit of a slower pace, and that's why people move to small towns. They like that slower pace of living. They don't like all the traffic. They don't love the hustle and bustle all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. The city is not sleeping all the time. The town's not sleeping all the time. It's just not crazy and wild like you see Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, some of these other major cities. So again, it does have a slower pace of life, which is often so unbelievably nice and relaxing. Property taxes. Property taxes often can also seem to be a little bit higher in our smaller centers because we have to pay for that infrastructure. These centers are growing all the time, as I mentioned. The housing are being built, the businesses are being built, the roads are being built, the water system's being upgraded, the garbage system's being upgraded. So who has to pay for that? We do. We all do collaboratively. So our property taxes do go up. But with that also, I know I'm talking about the cons, but I always have a spin on it. But as the property taxes go up, so do our property values as the city builds and, fills in with all these businesses and beautiful new homes. So that's my take on this. If you like the information that I talked about today and you find it valuable, please post a comment so that I can let people just like you know all about living in Lacombe, and hopefully I can help them make their move easy. If you have any questions or concerns or comments on this video, or maybe you're wondering about all those other videos I was talking about, you know what you gotta do. Drop your comment below. give me a phone call, shoot me a text message. I'd be happy to talk to you anytime. And please like and subscribe so you can see all of our videos. And like I said, we do the research so you don't have to. Again, Shalane Walls, Jason Walls, eXp Realty. If you're thinking of moving to Central Alberta, give us a call.